Hello friends and welcome into NFL Daily. I am your host Tom Downey. Let's talk NFL Draft, namely, let's take a look at an updated 2020 NFL Draft big board. Mine, of course. We begin at number 1. This isn't a surprise. It's Chase Young. Now, look, there will be a ton of changes from now all the way up until the end of the pre-draft process. I don't think this one's going to change, though. Young is the best prospect. He has been incredible for Ohio State. He's a legitimate Heisman Trophy contender. He's a better prospect than Bosa was last year, as weird as that sounds to say out loud, given how good Bosa's been for the 49ers. And we might not go number 1 because he's not a quarterback, but he's the best prospect right now for the 2020 NFL Draft. Now let me know in the comments section who your favorite NFL Draft prospect is this year. Doesn't have to be who you think is the best one. Maybe just one that you really, really like, even though you know he's not quite Chase Young. Let me know in the comments section, and stay tuned. I'll detail mine here coming up in a little bit. At number 2, I'm going to go quarterback here, Tua Tagovailoa out of Alabama. I just want to remind everybody, let's not overthink and nitpick Tua here. He is not flawless by any means, but he is a great quarterback prospect. Like, we can try and say, oh, Alabama has all the best talent in the world, but we've seen quarterbacks at Alabama before not put up anywhere near this caliber of numbers. Tua's great. Now, their injuries are a big red flag for me, but I think he's going to be a good, if not great, NFL quarterback. We'll stick with our Alabama theme here. Jerry Jeudy next up at number 3. He is a fantastic route runner. Maybe not the blazing speed of Henry Ruggs, but I'm a big fan of Jeudy and what he brings to an NFL team. I like Jeudy quite a bit. I also like another receiver. How about CeeDee Lamb of Oklahoma? What Lamb has done is impressive. He is a different type of receiver than Jeudy, but he also puts up some big plays and big numbers. Let me know in the comments which one you'd rather have, Jeudy or Lamb. It's a debate, I think, that will rage throughout the pre-draft process. Let's get an offensive lineman on here. Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa. He's played mostly right tackle. I think he can do both. Special athlete, still very young. He'll go early in the NFL draft. Then his teammate, AJ Epenesa out of Iowa. Now, he hasn't put up the same production that Chase Young has had or that we were hoping for. He also has been frequently doubled and tripled teamed, but he'll be an early pick. He has all the traits you want. One of the rare high recruits that Iowa actually pulled in. Number 7, Andrew Thomas. I wonder if we'll get some Andrew Thomas to guard talk as things go along. I think he's a better run blocker right now than he is a pass blocker, but I think he's a very, very talented player, and NFL teams need tackles. Andrew Thomas can be that in the NFL. That's the biggest thing. Might be better on the right side, but in today's day and age, you need both. You can't just say left tackle more valuable than right tackle, I don't think, anymore. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. If you like betting on the NFL, betting on college football, heck, betting on the NFL draft and the combine, BetDSI has you covered. They're the internet's #1 sportsbook. Go check them out, chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they will give you $60 for free. So if you get a couple of bets wrong, which I'm sure you guys aren't, you got plenty of extra money left over. It's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120. Number 8, let's get to Ohio State again, which if this were to hold, you could end up in a scenario where the first 2 players went for on the defensive side of the ball, go to the same school. That has not happened since Penn State, go way back to the LeVar Arrington era. Okudah stepped up his game in a big way. He has the exact traits teams want, and oh look, another really good Ohio State defensive back. Number 9, Isaiah Simmons. I'm not really sure what his best position is. Is it linebacker? Is it safety? Is it nickel corner? You could put all of those in there. Simmons, though, is a freak athlete. This is my favorite prospect. I think NFL teams will fall in love with him. I've seen buzz, but people saying, well, I don't know where he plays. Here's my mindset. If you can't find a fit for Isaiah Simmons in your defense, you've got a scheme problem because it's not a player problem. Look at those numbers. Sacks, pass breakups, tackles for loss. I mean, it's exactly what you want. We'll stick with our theme of freaky athletes here. Number 10, Derrick Brown. I might put Simmons and Brown higher when the year is over. Brown has put up very good numbers. He is a freak athlete. I am a big, big fan of what he brings. You don't find 6'4", 320-plus pound defensive linemen who move like Derrick Brown does. Hashtag verbs and whatnot. Number 11, Justin Herbert. Now, he has certainly shown growth, especially in the accuracy and completion percentage department. And he's got all the physical tools NFL teams want. Now, there is still some inconsistency, and frankly, the Oregon play calling in that offense, I think, hurts him at times, but you really going to argue against the 12-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio? I'm a big fan of what Justin Herbert brings. I've got him as my number 2 quarterback, just barely ahead of my number 12 overall player, Joe Burrow. And Burrow has taken a bigger rise for me than any other prospect that I've at least heard of. There are always some random small school guys that, I'll be honest, didn't know who they were, but I knew who Burrow was. Taking a huge step forward, and I think it's a 3-player battle for that number 1 overall quarterback spot. Tua, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. There are strengths and weaknesses for all of them, and I think you can make a strong case for all of them being the number 1 quarterback. They've got the tools you want. There are, of course, some nitpicky and some weaknesses. That's fair. But who do you think will be drafted first? Maybe not first overall. Maybe Chase Young goes there. But who will be the first quarterback drafted? Type T for Tua, B for Burrow, H for Herbert. I still think it's going to be Tua. I think Burrow has benefited from he's new, he's different. He was down here, now he's up here. Tua didn't have that much room to grow. Herbert had a little bit more, maybe hasn't been as impressive, but I think it's going to be Tua. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Number 13, Grant Delpit. Now, Delpit has kind of disappointed me a little bit this year. He still checks all the boxes. He's still the number 1 safety, but he's missed too many tackles. And I think his overall play has kind of declined a little bit, and that has hurt his stock. We'll stick with a teammate for Delpit at number 14. That's Christian Fulton. Funny enough, Delpit and Fulton aren't the best defensive back on LSU. That's Derrick Stingley, who's a friggin' freshman. I still like Fulton a lot. I think there are some ball skill issues that can maybe be worked out. But again, he's got all the traits you want. But Okudah has surpassed him, at least in my eyes, for CB1. This one's tough for me. Dylan Moses. If he were healthy, he'd probably be in the top 10. Because we've seen how good he's been last year. And he was tracking towards being even better this year. But the injury's a big red flag. I'll keep him at 15 for now. But this one might fluctuate based on how that rehab process goes. And heck, if Moses even comes out next year. Now, I assume most of you watching are like me, you love the NFL draft, and I want to do more draft videos. But in order to do more draft videos, we got to prove that they're worthwhile doing for us here at Chat Sports. So do me a favor, subscribe. The link is below. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. If you want more draft videos, we'll definitely keep you covered once the season ends and as the pre-draft process really ramps up, but I want to do more right now, so go subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Number 16, Travis Etienne. Also, I'll make this note right now. Not every player on my big board is going to actually have a first-round grade in the top 32. That's not how NFL teams operate. That's not how I operate either, so just keep that in mind. But I like Etienne a lot. He's shown growth in the passing game. Receiving production this year has already eclipsed his career production. That's a big deal for me, and I love speed at the running back position. Speaking of speed, that's Henry Ruggs III's game. He has got absolutely blazing speed. Now, I don't know if he's going to set the combine record for fastest 40 time. That'll be the buzz leading up to it once he runs. Big play threat, home run threat. NFL teams will fall in love with that. Number 18, Trevon Diggs, and yes, just so everyone knows, you'll hear it 1,000 times between now and the draft. This is Stephon Diggs' brother. Actually went to Bama as a receiver and why don't you play cornerback? Well, he kind of has the athletic ability and the movement skills and the ball tracking of a receiver and built like an ideal corner in today's day and age. He might rise up because NFL teams are going to fall in love with what he can be. Now, we've seen a lot of Alabama players already mentioned, and we're not done yet, which is just how things work. So here's a question for you guys. I know it's early, but let's have fun. Over or under 5.5, so no ties allowed, Alabama players taken in the first round. We've gone through Jerry Jeudy. We've gone through Henry Ruggs and Diggs. We've already got Tua, some more linemen coming up here as well. Dylan Moses. Didn't even include Terrell Lewis on this list. Over, under, let me know in the comments section. If you're saying over, which means 6 or more, that would tie the most first-round picks from the same school in a single NFL draft. Number 19, Jonathan Taylor. I did not have him in my most recent first-round mock draft. That's because, well, running backs just don't go all that early, but I like him a lot. And by the way, he's fast. I know that the Wisconsin prototype in recent years has been big, slow plodding guys. The Ohio State game was a big concern there, but he's gotten better in the passing game. The production's there. Maybe that's a bit of a red flag, the workload, but Taylor is a damn good prospect. All right, number 20, Julian Okwara. I'm still looking for that next edge guy. I feel good about Epenesa. I feel good about Chase Young. Maybe it's Khalil Chase, who doesn't have great production yet. Maybe it's Yeturgos Matos. I like Okwara a little bit more, especially for a 3-4 scheme. Now, I thought I was going to be smart when I built out this big board a couple days ago and oh, man, no one's talking about Derrick Willis as being better than Alex Leatherwood. That kind of changed this week, and now I feel like I'm copying, but I had it first, all right? Willis, the right tackle for Alabama, really good. Really great movement. I like him a little bit more, for now at least, than Leatherwood. Both those guys could be first-round picks. All right, Tyler Biadasz, or as I call him, just Tyler Badass, because he's a great player there. Interior lineman from Wisconsin, center, guard. I think he can play either. If you are a team in the market for a center, Miami Dolphins, just throwing that out there, Tyler Biadasz should be a really, really good fit, especially if you want to protect your young quarterback. Don't underestimate the value of a good center. I learned that from Travis Frederick. Today's show, as I mentioned, brought to you by BetDSI. It's chatsports.com/bet. That promo code up there, NFL120, gets you a deposit bonus. It's 120% better than all the other deposit bonuses out there. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. Put down $100, they're going to give you $120. It's the single best sportsbook betting deal out there. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code NFL120. This one was tricky for me. Bryce Hall. I loved him last year. I saw a lot of him from watching ACC receivers and cornerbacks. Had he entered the draft, he would have been my CB1. The play has taken a slight step back this year, and most importantly, nasty broken ankle. I think he goes late round 1, but I am still a big fan of what Bryce Hall can be in the NFL. And he's got the traits you want, especially if you want to run maybe a little bit more zone schemes. Number 24, Marvin Wilson, who, here's another player, much like, we mentioned Travis Etienne and some more we'll get to later. Marvin Wilson's production this year, in terms of tackles for loss and sacks and hurries, has already exceeded what he did in his career. Big step forward. Maybe he doesn't go round 1, but I like him as a potential sleeper. Number 25, CJ Henderson. He has had a bit of a slow start, has gotten much better lately. My biggest red flag for Henderson, who can play man-to-man, that's valuable. A lot of missed tackles. I know it's a business decision for corners, but it's a bit of a red flag there. Laviska Shenault, I am a big fan of what he brings when he's on the field. That's my biggest red flag. We've seen the production for Shenault. Based only on talent, he might be receiver 2 or if not receiver 3 there. The problem is durability, and the medical is a red flag for Shenault. It's tough to help out a team if you're always on the bench. So if he checks out and stays healthy the rest of the year, this might be 16 overall for Shenault. But in a deep receiver class, he might slide down. Number 27, Curtis Weaver out of Boise State. Maybe a bit under the radar because, it's Boise. But the production for Weaver for the past several years, I guess the past couple years, has actually been pretty good. I am a fan of his. He's a bit undersized, but I think in a 3-4 scheme, he'd be a great fit. So speaking of sleepers here, I think Weaver kind of fits that category. Who is your favorite early NFL draft sleeper? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. It's early, so you don't have to go super small school. If you do want to go super small school, though, I got some names for you. How about Dayton tight end Adam Troutman? Yeah, Dayton's got a good tight end prospect this year. A couple other safeties that I've liked that are pretty small school. One that just got a little bit of buzz here more recently. Kyle Duggar, who goes to Lenore Ryan, if I pronounced that school correctly. He's an option there. Those are super small school guys, but let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Number 28, T. Higgins. Full disclosure, this was going to be Tylan Wallace, and then he tore his ACL, and that's a brutal break for Wallace, who I love, but we're not going to talk too much about him. I like the size Higgins brings in a deep receiver class. I think he's worthy of a late round 1 selection. Number 29, this is a player who I think NFL teams will be higher on than me. Javon Kinlaw has what we call vines for arms, super long, that helps on the defensive line. He looks the part, has shown some great flashes, but the consistency isn't always there. He goes round 1. What you are hoping for is a Chris Jones type impact interior defensive lineman. All right, next up, Paulson Adebo here. He's up here from Stanford. His stock has kind of hit a bit of a rough patch as of late. when we come back later on in the year, if he doesn't get his play back going again, he might not be in my top 30. Heck, might not be in my top 50. Got burnt by UCF. I think he's going to bounce back, so I'm kind of projecting here as I am for everybody, but he's got to get going again. All right, Alex Leatherwood, next up here from Alabama. Hasn't allowed a sack this year, but there have been some issues in terms of his play. He was much better, though, at left tackle than he was from right guard. I think you got to keep him on the edges. He's just a better tackle than he is guard, but just keep him in mind there. Alabama offensive linemen tend to go normally pretty early. And finally, rounding things out, DeAndre Swift. He's shown progress in the passing game. It's a really good running back class. I don't know if Swift's going to even go in round 1, but just because of the positional value there. But big boards don't factor in positional value. I like Swift quite a bit. He, Taylor Etienne, part of a very strong group of running backs. And we only have 32. So if I left out your favorite player or a player from your team, I am sorry. But this is the internet. All we want to do is complain. So let me know in the comment section who I left out. I'll let you know if I considered them, if I've never heard of them, probably a little bit more doubtful there, or if I just don't think they're a first-round prospect. So let me know who I left out, and we'll update you guys throughout the year with updated NFL Draft Big Boards.